Hi, I am Nikki, and you are listening to the Edu Leader podcast. This is a place to celebrate fantastic educators. And this is a place teachers can go to learn about amazing things happening outside their classroom. Today, I am sitting here visiting with Diana Beitz, who is a teacher at the Fairfax Learning Center. Diana, can you tell me a little bit about what you do at Fairfax Learning Center?
Well, Fairfax Learning Center is an alternative high school for kids that are severely credit deficient. They all have come to us with various stories. We have kids that are parenting, kids that are in the foster care system, kids that have been in the juvenile justice system, kids that just haven't found their place in any other traditional high schools. And they all want to graduate but are not on track to do it when they come to us.
Wow. You have a lot of issues that you are dealing with, probably a lot of trauma.
Almost every one of our kids has come from a significant background of trauma. If you look at their ACE scores, I think our average ACE score is about a 6.
In case our listeners are not familiar with the ACEs, can you explain what that is a little bit?
It stands for Adverse Childhood Experiences, and it looks at the things that can affect children, traumatic events that happen to them when they're kids, and that those things then carry on as they get older. And it looks at, I believe it's 9 different types of things, like have they been homeless, have they had domestic violence in the home, have they had people around them that are addicted to drugs, those sorts of things.
One of the things that I really noticed about you and really been drawn to you in the last 2 days in the teacher leader cadre, Diana, is how many times you have said, I absolutely love my job. I can tell that this tough job brings you immense joy. And I think, having been a special ed teacher, a lot of times people tell me, oh, I could never do what you do. And I almost feel I feel taken aback when people say that, because I think I have the most amazing kids. So tell me a little bit about your story. Tell me how you feel about that.
I've done a lot of different things in education. I have been in school leadership, I've been an instructional coach, I've been an interventionist, I've been a classroom teacher, and this opportunity came up for me a couple of years ago, and I just took it because it was something different and unique, and I wanted to give it a shot. And the fact that we get these kids that everybody else has given up on, they've given up on themselves, their parents have given up on them, the schools have given up on them, and we help these kids not only get their high school diploma, but when they leave our school, they are set to go on to whatever next step they have in life. If they're going into the military, we've helped them get accepted. If they want to go to the technical school, we make sure that they have all of their paperwork in place and are ready to start. If they want to go to a university or community college, same thing. That's a part of our graduation requirements for our kids, that they have a plan of where they're headed. And a lot of our kids don't plan much beyond, where am I going to sleep tonight? So for them to be able to sit down and have a plan of, this is where I'm going to be in a year, this is where I'm going to be in 5 years, is really a huge shift for a lot of our kids.
How do you get them to that point? How do you move somebody from, I don't know if I have a safe place to sleep tonight, to, I would really like to go to a technical college? Or even a 4-year college? How do you do that?
One of the things that we do is we focus first on the kids, their social emotional well-being. We have a really fabulous academic coordinator who also happens to be a social worker, and she will help these kids find housing if that's what they need. She will help them find resources in the community to solve some of those problems so that they can move on to that other. The other thing that we do is a lot of exposing. Many of our kids have never been out of their zip code. They have no idea that within 3 miles of that school is a great university, is a world-class art museum. They haven't been there. They don't know what they don't know. So being able to expose them to some of those things as well, and teach them how to dream, because they don't know how to do that.
Teach them how to dream. I love that. I think so many of our kids are, they don't know how good they have it. If you don't know how lucky you are that you have the opportunity to dream. That's incredible.
Right. And our kids, their life is based on survival skills. How am I going to get food? How am I going to get shelter? And so at the end of the day, a lot of the other stuff that most middle class people take for granted is stuff that they are completely focused on, and it's not the same for all of our kids.
So do you have a big success story you can share with our listeners?
We had a young man, he was at our school for 2 years, and he was on the brink of being kicked out of our school multiple times because he would stop coming, would disappear, we would go and find him. My principal is fearless about going and finding kids and showing up on doorsteps and knocking on doors and trying to find the kids and get them back to school. He'll go to their court dates and beg the judge to let the kid be released into house arrest so that they can come back to school, that sort of thing. But this young man was very involved in the gangs. He was dealing drugs. He had gotten sideways with one of his suppliers. There was a lot of things going on in his life. For a good part of his last year at our school, he was couch surfing because he was afraid that the people that were looking for him were going to find him. And the only way he could stay ahead of that was to just basically change couches every night. And we were able to help him with finding someplace safe to be. And he came back to visit us this year, and he is back in school, and he has plans. And if we had asked him at the beginning of his time there what his plans for 5 years down the road were, he would have told you that he would either be dead or in jail. And that was exactly what the chances were.
Wow. So do you ever feel like it's too much, like it's too hard? Do you ever have a day where you feel like, I just don't know if I can do it?
Of course, there are days when we have kids that come in with such insurmountable things. We have, we have a kid who comes in that's just told her parents that she's pregnant, and they told her to get out of the house. And as a parent myself, I think, how could you do that to your child? How could you not support your kid? But this mother is doing the best that she can do with the challenges she has. So yeah, there's times when it's really frustrating, and I'd like to take them home with me, but knowing that we're doing everything that we can and we give them the best place that they can possibly be during that time is what helps. That, and sometimes some therapy French fries on the way home.
So I'm kind of hearing you say kind of some of the things we've talked about this week, just giving and receiving grace, that it's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to struggle. But in the
Absolutely.
end, it's worth it to stick with it for these kids.
It is. They're worth it.
That's fantastic. What an inspiring story. Thank you so much for sharing that, Diana.
Well, thank you for having me.